Yo, I got stranded in Queens about an hour outside of New York City because of the hurricane last night. I'm still here overnight. You gotta hear the story. So I'm walking down the street and this woman is staring at me. And I'm like, hi, how are you doing? She looks at me up and down, pauses, and says, "It's so nice to see someone smiling, finally." And in retrospect, I really wish I would have had a conversation with her, but I mean, this is one of my favorite things to do in New York City, is just smile, because it catches people off guard. It really does, like joy and happiness. And I just want to empower you today to maybe consider smiling at someone, because, yo, I'm still looking for a place to sit down so we can set up shop. But, okay, so picture this. I'm about to leave my hotel to meet my friend Lauren for dinner. And the thing is that Lauren was supposed to come into the city, but she had to stay late at work. And she lives in Queens, so she said, would you and Richard be willing to come meet me in Queens? And I was like, absolutely. There's an amazing Greek restaurant that I've been dying to try. So I make a reservation, and then Richard isn't feeling the best, so he stays back. And I walk outside of the hotel, and it's a little stormy, but I'm like, listen, it's a block to the subway. I'm gonna get on the subway. Walk to the subway. The woman who works at the front desk, who, by the way, obsessed with her name is Priscilla. If you go to the maid, make sure to work with her because she upgraded us. I almost got her to upgrade us to the penthouse, but that's a completely different story. So she's like, Paul, I don't really know if you should be going anywhere. And I'm like, it's just a little rain. Also, I'm wearing khaki shorts, the same shorts that I'm wearing now because, well, we'll get to that part. So I walk out and I've got an umbrella, and immediately the rain is just coming down, torrential downpour. And I look down, my shorts are soaked, and lo and behold, they are see-through. So I'm casually living out my voyeuristic dreams, and I get onto the subway, soaking wet, and ride 30 minutes into Queens, into Forest Hills. So then when I get off the subway, it's not really raining. I walk into the restaurant. I'm like, hi, a reservation for 3. And the guy looks at me like, you need a reservation. You literally are the only people in this restaurant. So we sit down, have an amazing meal. Agora in Forest Hills, chef's kiss, so good. The Greek yogurt dessert, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. So we're sitting there getting caught up. Mind you, I haven't seen Lauren since 2019. And she's got all these new things going on. I'm so excited, and it feels so good to be with her. And then the restaurant staff says, hey, you might be spending the night in here. And we're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And we look outside, torrential downpour, and then we pay for the check, we leave, and we are standing, and it's literally where the road was. It's a river. It's a river in frickin' Queens, New York. And I'm thinking, this isn't gonna be good. And there's no way around it. So me in my see-through shorts, I walk through water that's past my ankles. My shoes are completely soaked. There's garbage flowing down the street. It is not a cute look. And I'm like, Lauren, maybe I should stay with you. And she was like, yeah, totally. You can stay on my couch. It's fine. And you can just leave tomorrow morning. But we walk by the subway, and I hear the subway running, and I'm like, listen, I've got plans tomorrow. I'm going to take my chances, and I'm going to go down to the subway. It wasn't the best idea. So I get onto the subway. We go one stop. And as we are moving through the subway, the lights start to flicker. And we get to one stop away, and all the lights go off. And the attendant says, we've lost power because of the storm. No idea when the storm is going to be subsiding. We don't know how long this is going to be. You need to leave. You can take the Q60 bus. I go up. I look on my maps. I'm around 1.5 miles from where Lauren lives and around 3 miles from the hotel. Granted, I'd have to cross a bridge. Not a cute look, right? If I wanted to walk. I check my Uber app, $300 to get back into the city. There's 0 cars available. and the bus not running because literally the street is a river. So it's raining. I've got my umbrella, and I'm like, well, the only option is I get to walk back to Lawrence. For some reason, I'm like really invigorated. I'm really excited. It's like an adventure, okay? It's an adventure for me. Okay, I don't know why this is so much fun to me, but I'm stuck deep in Queens. I had lunch or dinner with a friend, and I was on the subway, and the subway just stopped one stop away. So I close my eyes and I'm like, what do I need to do in this moment? What are my options? And I look up, the rain stops, and I'm like, okay, the rain has stopped. I'm gonna start walking. So I start walking towards Lawrence. I've got my umbrella, little drizzle, no torrential downpour. The entire time I'm walking back, granted I had to divert because I ran into a river, couldn't cross the river, didn't want to get like up to my knees wet in this river. And I get to Lawrence, I call her. She doesn't answer. I'm like, oh, of course she fell asleep, or she's busy, she can't let me in anymore. Call her again. Thank God she picks up. Now, at this point, I'm drenched head to toe. I have no extra clothes. Lauren just moved, so she's all in boxes. And granted, she's like a size 0 human, so not any of her clothes are gonna fit me. So we throw my clothes in a hamper. I take a shower. I bought some socks at CVS. They're too small for me, so I've got socks on half of my feet, and I fall asleep. Have a great night's rest, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, the sun is out, everything's perfect, everything's fantastic. Walk to the subway, it's closed. The bus is not running. Uber, still $300. But I got an Uber, right? I order an Uber, and I'm like, okay, for some reason it said it was 20 bucks. So I get in the car, and he's like, you're going to 72nd Road. And I'm like, that's a block and a half away, why would I be going there? I put Lauren's address into the Uber. $30 to get me a block and a half. And I was like, no, I need to go to Manhattan. He was like, okay, put it in. $300 additional. And I was like, nope, not gonna happen. We're not doing that. So I get out of the car and I'm like, I've gotta walk. I start to walk, and I'm like, I'm not gonna walk for 4 hours in soaking wet shoes with my PRP feet. If you don't know, my feet are constantly cracking because they're so dried, although like being in wet shoes actually helps a lot. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? So I go to a diner, and then I start walking around, and it's such a beautiful day, and I'm just so excited by this adventure. Like, what am I gonna do? And then I start meeting people, and people are like, why are you smiling? Oh my gosh, where are you from? You're so happy, what's going on? And it just really excited me. So there's a couple of takeaways that I wanna share with you about this story, and why, or really how you can reframe any negative situation into an adventure, an opportunity for excitement. So all of the people who are still waiting for the bus right now, this could have been a day off, right? Your boss can't be mad at you for not going into work if you literally can't get to work, okay? So that's step one. Next step, consider, why is this happening for you, right? Today, I had a breakfast that I had booked in the morning. I was going to a spin class to spend time with friends, and we have dinner tonight. And in the middle of the day, I was like, well, what do I want to do? And then it turns out that I had to cancel my breakfast, but guess what? I got the days messed up. Breakfast is tomorrow, so I'm not missing that breakfast. And I just got to experience a new part of the city that I'd never been in before. So I want to encourage you, if life feels wackadoo, out of control, you're literally stuck in a torrential downpour, take a second, close your eyes, and say, why is this happening for me? What do I get to learn? You know, for me, there's another piece of this where I get to trust my intuition, because my intuition told me just to go back with Lauren. But because I didn't want to get stuck in Queens, I decided that, oh, I'm gonna try and get on the subway. But naturally, the universe had other plans for me. So I encourage you to always listen to your intuition, and remember, you are worth it, you deserve it, and you are not alone. Oh, and by the way, I literally have no idea how I'm gonna get back into the city, but I had the opportunity to film this and upload it right now for you, and I'm hoping that my friend who has a car will lend it to Richard so that he can come pick me up. So fingers crossed that happens. But what should we do for the rest of the day out here in Forest Hills, Queens? Because why drive back into the city when we have a car? Comment below, let me know. And make sure to like and subscribe this video if you haven't already. Like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already.